After 15 months of conflict and near decimation of Gaza, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was finally announced by the mediators in Doha on the 15th of January. But between the date of announcement and the day that the ceasefire will actually come into effect, which is January 19th, Sunday, we are witnessing the hours of revenge. Skies over Gaza remain heavy with the sound of warplanes, and the ground is littered with the aftermath of destruction. Since Wednesday, the death toll in Gaza alone has risen to at least 117 Palestinians, including 32 women and 30 children. The relentless airstrikes have also left 266 others injured, many critically. For the people of Gaza, each passing day brings more pain, more funerals, and more questions about when, if ever, this suffering will end. Well, it should have started. Starting January 19th, military operations between the two parties will be temporarily suspended. Israel will stop its air activity to collect prisoners and bodies for 12 hours. The entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza will increase by 600 trucks per day. Israeli Ministry of Justice published a list of the names of 735 prisoners to be released within the first stage in this hostage-prisoner swap. This included about 300 prisoners who have been detained for more than 20 years in a row. The most prominent of them is Mohammed Al-Tous, who is considered the dean of prisoners and the oldest, and a detainee for 40 years in a row. However, in the southern city of Khan Younis, outside Nasser Hospital, grief is overwhelming. Families have gathered to say goodbye to their loved ones, their faces etched with despair. Bodies wrapped in white shrouds bear names written in blue ink, solemn identifiers for lives cut tragically short. The heartbreak in Khan Younis mirrors scenes across Gaza, where prayers over the dead are interrupted by the cries of mourning women clinging to one another for support, and more still, the sounds of warplanes and the pounding of bombs in Gaza. What was supposed to be a moment of respite after the announcement of a ceasefire has become yet another chapter of unrelenting tragedy, because these are the last hours for Israel to seek revenge. Children, almost surprised to have survived the Israeli attacks, celebrated the moment in tears. But Israeli pounding of past few nights have been tragic, and for them, frightful. Although this is a huge achievement for the Biden administration, there is no denying the fact that Trump, as the next US president, backing Netanyahu and the cause for Israel, could have spelled disaster for the cause of Palestine and Palestinians. And the reason why hostage release leading to a ceasefire was made possible. It is no surprise that Donald Trump did take credit for the ceasefire, although the entire mediation happened by the United States of America, Qatar, Egypt, with Cairo now being the place where the control room is being set up. The ceasefire may bring a temporary halt to the violence, but for families bearing their children, their mothers, their fathers, peace feels like a distant dream. As we continue to cover this unfolding crisis, we ask how much longer must innocent lives be caught in the crossfire?